Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction ahead of Manchester United's game against Villarreal in the Champions League group stage at Old Trafford. I'll give you all the questions that Solskjaer was asked and I'll give you his responses to them. So let's delve straight into it. So the first question was, "Hi Ollie, what's the situation with the team and in particular Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire?" So Ollie's response was, "Luke has been in today, so I'll give him a chance to be involved tomorrow. He didn't train with the team. Harry is more or less definitely out. It doesn't look good. Apart from that, from the bruised pride from the Aston Villa result, we should be ready to go." So that was Ollie's response to that first question. So there's a chance Luke Shaw could be in the squad. Luke Shaw obviously came off injured in the 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa. Luke Shaw wasn't too good though against Villa before he came off injured. He struggled against Matty Cash. And Harry Maguire, he came off injured against Villa, could be out for a few weeks. Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. This was the second question. What exactly is the situation with Harry then? How long are you expecting him to be out? Your defence is obviously looking a bit weakened tomorrow with Wan-Bissaka also suspended. Ollie's response was, "Yeah, it's his calf, that might take a few weeks, so let's see how quickly he recovers." Of course he was hoping to play against Villarreal. He missed the last game we played against them. That's football for you. With Owen suspended, we'll have to make a few changes. So that was Ollie's response to that question. Wan-Bissaka is suspended because he got sent off in our 2-1 defeat to Young Boys. The reason Bissaka got sent off is because he stamped on Martins, and that changed the complexion of that game. So it's likely Dalot will come in at right back for Wan-Bissaka. This was the third question. Scott McTominay and Fred have got a very good record together in terms of winning games. Not lost many games, but there seems to be, from some fans, a sense of uproar that they do start together. From your perspective, why do you play them as often as you do? Ollie's response was, "First of all, the stats from them two together, we've had many good results. The energy they give us, the way they broke up play against Villa. I think they're very instrumental in that respect. They have energy and desire too. There's two I can trust that can always give you what they've got." Fans will always have an opinion on any team selection when you've got good players like me. It's easy to say who should be playing, it's harder to leave players out. So that was Ollie's response to that question. There has been a lot of Man United fans obviously coming out saying, why does Ollie keep selecting McTominay and Fred in the centre of midfield? Because I don't think either of them are good enough to represent the club. But they have enjoyed their good games at Man United, don't get me wrong. This was the next question. What do you expect from Villarreal and the game tomorrow? This is a fairly long response from Ollie. Well, you expect what you have learned about Villarreal in the last few seasons, and of course we had a final against them not long ago, which we remember not too fondly. As clubs, we've played each other 5 times and every game has been draw. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0 and 1-1. And unfortunately, they win the penalty shootout. they're very well organised, they've got very good individual players, tactically or technically very good. You see so many times that they play from the back, play with the technical gifted players they have. It's hard to press against them, which I thought we did well against them in the final. Pressed up against them quite well, won the ball a few times, difficult to create chances against them of course, and we have to be better than we were in the final. We have to be better on the decisions, better on the passing, better on the quality, maybe more tempo to create chances. It was a very even final. So that was all his response to that. This was the next question. I don't think it's the time for knee-jerk reactions, but the fact that you lost your first game, does that increase the pressure on you to get a positive result tomorrow? Even though it's just one game and very early. If you end up with 1 point or no points from 2 games, suddenly it becomes very difficult. Ollie's response to that question was, yeah, you're right, it's a group stage, there's only 6 games, you need 10, maybe 12 points to go through, most likely, and we lost 3 points last time. Atlanta and Villarreal drew last time too, Villarreal getting 1 point at... What are you doing? What are you doing?
You don't need that on.
Data. Villarreal getting 1 point at home maybe isn't enough for them to say a draw on Wednesday is good enough for them either. It's 2 teams that will be going for 3 points. If you end up with 0 or 1 point from the first 2 games, you need to win the last 4. Probably it's still not a must-win game, but it's a very important game. Definitely, as I said after Young Boys home games, if you get 3 wins at home and you win 1 away game, you should be through. The focus is on 3 points. We've been looking at Villarreal again, of course, looking at the final, looking at what we can do better, what was good in that game, and we'll get a good response from the weekend, of course. So that was Ollie's response to that question. Yeah, got to agree with Ollie on that aspect. This is a very important game for Man United. Solskjaer has lost 7 out of 11 Champions League games as Manchester United manager, so that's a bad record. Anyway, let's get to the next question. You talked about the injury to Harry Maguire and Villarreal went to a 5 at the back against Real Madrid at the weekend. Would that be something that you would maybe think about changing the system to play against them? Ollie's response was, well, you always look at the opposition and sometimes you have to make adjustments because of them. Bigger adjustments, sometimes you just tweak it. For us, we always look at ourselves though, probably 8 to 20 ourselves and make sure we play better. But of course, the more injuries you get in defence, you might have to do tactical changes, formations that can happen. I've got Eric Bailly, Varane, Lindelof, 3 very good centre-backs that I can choose from, and still Alex Telles and Dalot are not 100% fit. Hopefully Luke can be involved, but we're not sure yet. Fair response again from Ollie. This was the next question. The pressure almost rises when you lose a couple of games and your former teammate Gary Neville has called for a clearer style of playing and claims that you're not playing well enough as a team to, for example, win the league. What's your comment on his comment? So all his response was, I've not read that and not heard it, but of course you're working on your style of play, you're working on patterns, you're in possession game, you're out of possession game. The Aston Villa game, we broke up play really well defensively, maybe attacked too fast. We want fast attacking play. Gary Neville knows that, and everyone has been associated with Man United know we want to keep the tempo up and attack quickly. When we can, maybe we did it too fast, because if you look at the stats, I don't think I've seen any games with less efficient playing time. 45 minutes effective playing time the ref gave us, probably one of the lowest I've seen. Normally you're up to 55 or 60, but that's maybe because we finished the attacks too quickly. Same with Villa, we need more control. If you slow it down too much, it might be against a low block again defending. We know Villarreal will definitely defend well and be hard to play against. We need to play quickly. Gary knows the DNA here at the club and what we are trying to do. So that was all his response to that question. This was the next question. Just following on from that last question, you more than anyone know about the pressure and expectation at Manchester United, both as a player and now a manager. And that scrutiny, of course, intensifies when you go through a sticky patch like you have been with 3 defeats in 4. But what makes you convinced that you're on the right path? You've made progress season on season since you've been here, but what makes you convinced that you're on the right track? And why should supporters continue to have faith despite this sticky period you're going through? Ollie's response was, of course, my focus is always to win the next game. Short term and also think long term about squad building. Keep improving, keep getting better. My focus now has just been winning these games, getting back on track in the group, because we didn't start well enough with the defeat away from home. Then we focus on the league again from Thursday morning. The position in the league, we would have loved to have got 1 or 3 points on Saturday and go top of the league, but we're still up there. The season so far started okay in the league. Champions League, we know we need to do better. With the squad, the coaches I've got, I still believe we can improve and we will get that consistency. So that was Ollie's response to that question. This was the next question. You have spoken about Villarreal and Manchester United always drawing in their games 0-0, 1-1, but now you have Cristiano Ronaldo, who was the best weapon when he was at Real Madrid. He scored 13 goals against Villarreal. Do you think he can be the key to finally win against Villarreal? Ollie's response was, yes, of course, Cristiano. You can almost say when you start with Cristiano, it's almost one guaranteed goal. He has that record in his career that he will score goals. 13 goals against Villarreal in 14 or 15 games against Villarreal means he enjoys playing against them. Of course, now he knows Raul Albiol from Real Madrid, Pau Torres, their top defenders. So it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be easy to play against Cristiano either. He's determined to score goals every time he goes on the pitch. For us, I know we will improve with Cristiano. The more he gets to know the team and the way we play, the better we will become, and the more goals and chances he will get as well. But we have to play well to create chances. So that was Ollie's response to that question. So yeah, Ronaldo's got a very good goal scoring record against Villarreal. Ronaldo will definitely be in contention to play in this game. Ronaldo obviously played against Aston Villa at the weekend. To be honest with you, for the vast majority of that game, Ronaldo looked isolated and quite a few times he had to drop deep. But Ronaldo's done well since he's re-signed. Ronaldo so far has scored 4 goals. You know, he scored twice on his second debut against Newcastle, scored against Young Boys, and he scored in the league against West Ham. Don't forget, Ronaldo is already the record scorer in the Champions League, and quite a few weeks ago Ronaldo became the all-time international top scorer with 2 late goals against Ireland. Ronaldo's already said that he wants to retire at Man United, then coach Cristiano Jr. in the Red Devils youth team. Solskjaer said prior to the Aston Villa game that he believes Ronaldo can keep playing for Man United into his 40s. Ronaldo's already hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Well, Ronaldo signed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a 3rd year. Ronaldo receives 480 grand a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. We got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included, and Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt. Well, prior to the Young Boys game a few weeks ago now, Ronaldo says we can win the Champions League, and Ronaldo also made it clear to his Man United teammates that he wants the Premier League this season. A few weeks ago, Solskjaer said it's not impossible to leave Ronaldo out of the team, so he says he doesn't have to play Ronaldo for every game. The games he'll get rested for is like the Carabao Cup games, maybe the FA Cup games as well. Ronaldo is the greatest player of all time. He's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. So there you go. So this was the next question. Sorry to throw in another few comments from your old teammate Gary Neville, but he had quite a lot to say the last week or so. Ollie's response was he always has got loads to say. Gary, I'm used to Gary. He's always said a lot when I was sat next to him in the dressing room as well, so fire away. This was the last question of the press conference. What he said this time is that you and Manchester United have to win a trophy this season or next because of the backing you've had from the board and the strengthening you've had in the squad via the transfer window. That heaps the pressure on you. What do you want to say to your old teammate about that idea? So this was Ollie's final response. That pressure is a privilege to work in this environment. You have to embrace that pressure. If he says we need to win a trophy this season or next, well, because of the backing, I have to say yes, I've been backed in the progress and the process has worked well with the backing I've got. It seems to me that we're sticking to that plan, but we're in a result business. We're here to win, to get up there. Clearly we've improved, expectations have improved with the signings, with the better performances. I'm here to win. Don't think twice about that, and Gary knows that. Of course I speak to Gary as well. Here he is at the club. We have an obligation to win, and we have an obligation to win in a certain style of play and the way we want. Sometimes that's risky and you lose 1 or 2 lately. Maybe we've lost 1 or 2 games. Change the team in the Carabao Cup. That's the consequences. You're out of the cup, but that's the way to do things, and we'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there around April, May, challenging for these trophies we'd like to see back at Old Trafford. So that was everything that was mentioned in the press conference. Manchester United need to get revenge on Villarreal, because obviously last season Villarreal beat Man United in the Europa League final 11-10 on penalties. Obviously De Gea missed our penalty. De Gea cost us. Like I say, we're in a bad vein of form coming into this game. We have lost 3 of our last 4 games in all competitions. We have lost 2 home games in a row and we failed to score a goal. Villarreal, they haven't enjoyed a good start to the season though. They're sitting like 10th in La Liga. Villarreal have got some players missing. Obviously, Francis Coquelin is suspended, so he won't be in contention to play in this game. Gerard Moreno, he's out with injury. That's a bad miss for Villarreal because Gerard Moreno is definitely one of their key players. They've got Juan Foyth out as well with injury. Villarreal got Juan Foyth from Tottenham. They've Chuck Wuezi, he was out with injury, but I think he's now back because he was recently training. And Danny Reber, he's out with injury. Villarreal's manager is Unai Emery. He's been Villarreal manager now for over a year. He's under contract with Villarreal until 2023. Unai Emery has got a decent pedigree behind him. Obviously won the Europa League with Villarreal last season. He won a few Europa Leagues when he managed Sevilla. Also won trophies when he was at PSG. Unai Emery has managed in the Premier League before because he managed Arsenal for 18 months. He got sacked after 18 months though. Unai Emery did actually guide Arsenal to the Europa League final. Obviously, our next league game is Everton on Saturday. Obviously, we've got Marcus Rashford still out. But Rashford is close to returning because it did say the other week Rashford looked sharp in training after injury shoulder operation. You know, when Rashford comes back though, will look much better. Mad Diallo's got an injury, and obviously Maguire and Shaw are out. As you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is under pressure. Obviously, there is Man United fans that are demanding Ole out because obviously there's Man United fans that are frustrated with Solskjaer's playing style and his selections. Solskjaer's job is safe for now, despite us losing 3 of our last 4 games in all competitions. The Manchester United board retain full support for Solskjaer. And like I mentioned, you know, Solskjaer got very good backing in the summer transfer window this year. John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football, and we made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. Darren Fletcher also backed Solskjaer, and we made the right decision recommending Darren Fletcher back in. Darren Fletcher knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. And surprisingly, our owners, the Glazers, had backed him, but only because they'd been persuaded to. And Man United did enjoy a very good summer transfer window this year. You know, we made 4 signings. Brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa. Brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund. Signed Rafael Varane from Madrid. And we re-signed Ronaldo after 12 years. We spent around 141 million in this year's summer transfer window. It was disappointing that we didn't sign a midfielder in the summer transfer window. I'm hoping we can sign a midfielder in January or next summer. And we only managed to sell one player in the summer transfer window, and the player we sold was Daniel James. We sold him to Leeds for 25 million. The reason we sold him is because we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo. We did loan a few players out in the summer transfer window. We loaned Brandon Williams out, Andres Pereira, Axel Tuanzebe, Ethan Laird, Facundo Palistri and Tahiv Chon. Ole has enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. But yeah, I think Solskjaer has to win a trophy this season or next season to basically save his job, because Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. And the other week Solskjaer did mention that we must leave a legacy of silverware. Solskjaer's ambition is to win the Premier League this season. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now, and analysing our squad, we should be winning the Premier League because, like I've said before, it's a title-winning squad, so there's no excuses. And earlier on this season, Solskjaer told his Man United squad that it's better than the 1999 treble-winning team that Ole was part of. But I did mention at the start of this season that, this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed. This season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. Obviously, there has been United fans, demanding Conte in to replace him. I think there's some Man United fans that want Zidane to come in. Ole's not the long-term manager for Man United, but he does deserve at least this season. Obviously, in the summer, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and like I mentioned, we made a mistake giving him that new contract because I can assure he won't see it out. My 2 biggest concerns about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me because analysing the vast majority of the games he's managed at Man United is being tactically naive. Earlier on today, I gave you the news on Calvin Phillips. There's been narratives coming out saying that Man United turned their attention to Calvin Phillips after ending the pursuit of Declan Rice because of West Ham's 90 million valuation. Leeds value Calvin Phillips at 60 million. And Calvin Phillips fears that Marcelo Bielsa will leave Leeds at the end of the season. I don't think there's anything in Calvin Phillips to Man United. I'm very, very sceptical about it. Phillips has got a contract with Leeds until 2024. He's played over 200 games for Leeds in all competitions. He won the Championship with Leeds last season as well. He's been at Leeds for like 11 years. Obviously, joined their youth setup in 2010. He was in their youth setup for 4 years till 2014. Then obviously he's been in Leeds' senior squad since 2014. Obviously before Leeds he was at Wortley. Calvin Phillips is a defensive midfielder and he is the age of 25. So still got a lot of development in him. Calvin Phillips started his career as a box-to-box or central midfielder, but then converted into a defensive midfielder. We've done transfer business with Leeds before in the Premier League era. We got Ferdinand off them, Cantona and Alan Smith. Leeds did business with us in the summer transfer window because they got Daniel James off us. Obviously, yesterday I gave you the news on Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. Borussia Dortmund's CEO came out and said that Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. You know, Sancho hasn't enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. You know, it does take some players time to settle in, and I said Sancho will do well providing that Solskjaer uses him correctly. Solskjaer's played Sancho on the left a few times. You know, he's not too good on the left. He's better on the right than he is on the left because Sancho predominantly plays as a right winger. I think you can also play him through the middle as well, Jadon Sancho. But, you know, we got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included, and he's under contract with Man United till June 2026. There's an option of a further year, and Sancho to Man United was confirmed on the 23rd of July. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.